Hello, friends, and welcome, 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 welcome. I am so sorry that I have not been with you the past couple of weeks. I have had a lot of balls in the air, A, and B, I call it the heavies this time of year. I get really heavy and I have a really hard time showing up for things. I don't really want to do much other than be a blob on the floor, and I eat the wrong foods because of that. And yeah, it becomes a cyclical thing, right? And I know that about myself. And I know that about this season and myself in this season. And then add on top of it all that's going on in my world. And so the reason I'm mentioning all of that is because the tool I've been pulling out a lot lately, and I always try to use it, but it's like, but really right now I need it desperately. And also it's been really useful for me, has been self-compassion. So today, let us pull out our self-compassion tool. Find yourself in your upright posture or whatever posture you can show up for this today in. And when I have the heavies, I want to slouch into that fetal ball position desperately. So I'm going to just remind my spine to lengthen a little bit, to let my chest open a little, to let my chin lift a little. And as I start to get a sense of where I'm starting from, this holistic body, really remembering to look at this through a non-judgmental lens. Yeah. Nothing is right or wrong or good or bad. It's just where you are at this moment. And then bring your awareness to that place between the eyebrows, third eye center. And if I were to draw a line from between your eyebrows to the back of the head and from above one ear to above the other, where those two lines intersect, we're going to try to bring our awareness back there. Now, if that's difficult, you can just leave it between the eyes, between the eyebrows, sorry. But if you can slide that awareness back towards the center of the mind, and try to make contact here with that part of you. In yoga, we talk about it being the unwounded part of you. That no matter what happens to you in this body on this time, right? During this time in this body, maybe I should say, um, in this life, you are still an individual ray of the divine. And so there is this all knowing, unwounded part of us inside. So just see if you can't tap into that a little bit. And we're not ignoring there's part of us that has been wounded, that does feel insecure, that sometimes feels like we're not enough, that doesn't feel like it belongs. We're not ignoring that. But right now we're tapping into another part. I like to think of it as the true friend aspect. And then maybe that true friend aspect, if you've been able to tap into it or imagine it, sometimes it's just play with your imagination and imagine that part of you. And imagine that part of you with some gesture, right? Reaching out to that wounded part of you. This is different for everybody. Some of us, we like physical touch. We want to be held, right? Sometimes maybe it's just a hand on the back. Sometimes it's an expression from the eyes. It can be anything, but in some capacity, let that true friend aspect of yourself reach out to that wounded part and just, I'm going to say, hold them, knowing that for you, it doesn't have to be the image of a physical holding. Yeah. And maybe that true friend aspect can acknowledge, I know you're suffering. These are words that I use for myself, right? Things like this, it changes all the time. But I can see that you're suffering. Beautiful one, I am so sorry for your suffering. Is there anything I can do to help? Is there anything you need? And take time and see if there's an answer, a reaction. Depending on what I find or what my wounded part asks for or needs, right? Maybe I can just supply that through visualization and imagery in this moment. Um, and maybe it's something that I can just, my true friend aspect can let the other part of me know, today I intend to help you get that need met. I intend to be here for you today. And again, we all have our own experiences. I don't mean to put my experience on anybody else, but sometimes for me, that's all I need is just needing to know that this part of me is there for me and showing up. And then maybe imagine that those two parts, right, join together and become one. And then let's put one hand on our heart and the other over it. Inhale, and as you do exhale, just gently bow your chin in towards your heart, right? Your head towards your heart, knowing that those two are linked, they're not separate. And if there's something that you heard in there or that you ended up finding that is helpful, um, today, just that second phrase that I said, I intend to be here for you today, really, whew, yeah. So I'm going to repeat that to myself here. And namaste, friends. May you be well. May you know that you belong. And may you find that part of yourself that can support you all the way through this life. And may we just get more and more intimate with those parts of ourselves. I love you.